Yo, what's going on? Welcome to the Lasky Show. An idea that I've been thinking about doing for a while, to be completely honest. I wanted to try to get another co host or something to allow me, to bounce ideas back and forth, but instead, now I kind of changed the format up. Instead of, like I said, it being like a podcast like I've done in the past, it's more of a regular styled show. For the future of the show, we could have co-hosts. I don't know. I've been thinking about doing a couple of different things. We'll see. But without further ado, let's just jump right into it. For the first topic, we got Wilson being traded, Russell Wilson, I should say, getting traded to the Denver Broncos in a trade that, I don't know, a lot of people have been talking about. Like, obviously, it's good for Denver. Denver gets Wilson and a fourth and a fourth rounder. Seattle receives Drew Lock, Shelby Harris, Noah Fant, Denver's 2022 and 2023 first round draft picks, Denver's 2022-23 second rounders, and Denver's 2022 fifth rounder. Now, look, you know what? Actually, before I even get into the trade, let's even talk about Denver's full offseason because Denver has been making moves, like straight up. They've been doing some good shit. I mean, they signed Packers offensive guard Ben Braden. They also signed DJ Jones, who is extremely, extremely underrated. He plays alongside Nick Bosa, so he goes unnoticed, and he's also D tackle. And a lot, I think the defensive tackle position is in and of itself very underrated. But like overall, they are absolutely killing it. They also stole Randy Gregory from the Cowboys, who at first had an agreement with the Cowboys and apparently backed out of it to sign a 5-year, $70 million deal with Denver. So again, they've been doing really good, but this brings me to the biggest problem with Denver right now, and I don't want to say look, Denver is good. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to say they're bad, and their offseason has justified them getting Wilson in a way. Because my biggest knock on them getting Russell Wilson was that ultimately, what you're playing in a stacked AFC. Your division consists of the Raiders, the Chargers, Kansas City. Like, look, I don't know if they can be. I don't know if they could be better than the Chargers, who just signed the Patriots cornerback to a huge deal. I don't know if they could be better than the Chiefs. And to add on top of it, you just traded for Russell Wilson, who is an older quarterback than both Patrick Mahomes. I mean, I think he's the oldest quarterback in that division. I don't want to say that for sure, but I believe he is. It would only come down to Carr. So like, look, it's not it's not bad. It's just not great. Yeah, he is the oldest quarterback in that division. It's not bad, but it's not great unless you wind up winning a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? I guess like I don't. It depends on what you justify as winning. In New York, we justify success based off championships. We don't go, oh, we made the playoffs. All right, cool, good job. Like we don't do that. You got to win a championship. And I think in most places it's probably the same. So if that's the case, I don't know if you really truly set yourself you set yourself up for success for 2 years. Like true success. And then after that, Wilson will be 35. Like it's scary. It's scary if you're a Denver fan because it's like now you're trying to win in a division where you now have the oldest quarterback. Like you went from having no quarterback to having the oldest quarterback in an already tough division. And that's not even looking at the entire AFC as a whole. So look, I don't know. I don't want to sit here and bash Denver because I think it's the right move. I think both teams win the trade, but I do think Denver is under pressure to win now. So we got to see if that works out for them. But I mean, ultimately, if they do win, it was worth it. Now looking at the other side of the trade for Seattle, they did good, I think. Look, they got a lot of value back, and if they could turn around and get a quarterback like Deshaun Watson, because you can't, they're definitely in on Watson, though I've heard Watson has told them no. Like, he doesn't want to get traded there, but I don't think he has much of a choice. Um, it all they did is flip into a young quarterback, which they needed in an. I mean, look, if Seattle were to get Watson, they'd have the youngest quarterback in that division, which is already tough to begin with. They were last place in it, so they would know. I mean, yeah, you would. Well, I don't know if he's. No, he wouldn't be younger than Kyler, but he'd be younger than Stafford. Obviously, be younger than Garoppolo. For now, we don't know what the Niners are doing. But yeah, look, I think it opens up a few lanes for them to do some work. So if they do wind up getting a young quarterback, then it's good, because really all you did was, it depends on how much you give up, but then if you don't give up too much, or you give up similar to what you got back, then it's good. You also got a solid tight end in Noah Fant. Like, there's no way around it. They got a good tight end. Like, that's a good player. That I don't want to say he's a first round draft pick, but I mean, yeah, maybe. He's a really good tight end. All right, so moving on from that whole trade and that really whole entire situation going on in Denver and Seattle, I just want to briefly talk about Julio getting cut, which was a bit of a surprise, but maybe not. I don't know. Tennessee couldn't really have healthy receivers this year. I feel like A.J. Brown missed half the year, and I'm pretty sure he did. And then even when Julio was there, he was kind of pretty much a non-factor. It's a weird. They had a weird dynamic because, like, I feel like Julio's taking a fall for a team that ran the ball more than a lot of other teams. Even when Derrick Henry got injured, like, they still ran the ball. That was their offense. And when they threw the ball, they threw it to A.J. Brown. So I don't know. It's kind of a weird, like, I feel like he's taking the fall for a situation that's really not his fault, but I just wanted to briefly, talk about that. And that brings me to Brady. Now, obviously, again, this is kind of old, but I want to just, I want to have a nice starting spot and then move forward from there. Brady's back. That wasn't surprising at all. I mean, I don't know. I'm happy he's back for one reason. Obviously, other people aren't. I'm happy for two reasons. I'm a Giant fan, so the more Brady wins, the better Eli looks at the end of the day. And also, mainly, because the AFC is so ridiculously overpowered that if without Brady, there's like no powerhouse in the NFC. Obviously, the Rams just won the Super Bowl, but I got to see who they bring back and how everything works over there. I mean, they just lost Vaughn, which is a big deal, and that contract is absolutely wild. They're paying Vaughn, the Bills, I should say, are paying Vaughn until he is dust. The man is going to be on a cane by the time that contract is up. I was stunned. Just think about it. I'm kind of deferring from Brady being back, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Just think about it. Vaughn, who was considered like a whatever player, he got traded. I don't even remember what he got traded for. He was like, everybody knew he was good, but he was injury prone. Nobody knew exactly what. They are giving him a 6-year contract at the tail end of his career. He's got, 2 good years, maybe? That's insane. And it's not like they're just giving him 6 years, 80 million? I believe the contract was. I'm going to look it up real quick. It is a 6 years, 120 million. Guaranteed at signing, 45 million. Total guaranteed, 51 million. So yeah, it was 60 million. Yeah. Guaranteed. That's fucking insane for an old guy. He's 32. He's going to be 39 as a free agent, and he's a linebacker. He's going to be he was an already I don't know. He's an injury-prone linebacker who's going to have a contract for 6 years and will be 38 at the end of it. That is fucking insane. I don't know. But back to the main point. Brady's back. Good. The NFC needs some sort of competition because it's really just the Rams show. Like, I don't know what the Niners are going to be. I think the Niners are the biggest wild card out there because we don't know what they're doing at the quarterback position. The Rams. The Rams are obviously the Rams. The Cardinals maybe if they could figure it out, but and then outside that, and Green Bay, but they can't win in the playoffs for whatever fucking reason. So I don't really know where you put Green Bay on that list, but again, like it does just kind of feel like the Rams show. So with Brady being back, it allows Tampa to stay a powerhouse, as well as the fact that they brought back Godwin and all those other people. It allows them to be a powerhouse that they that the NFC really desperately needed, because it feels like everybody's running in the AFC, and I have absolutely no clue why. That also ends Wilson being traded is a loss for the NFC unless they get like Watson or whatever. It's a loss. So it's like, I don't know. The NFC is in a rough place right now. It doesn't feel... You got the AFC where it feels like half the AFC could make the playoffs, and then you got the NFC where like you feel like two teams should make the playoffs and everybody else shouldn't. So, it's a bad spot for the NFC to be in, and that's why Brady being back is good for it. Okay, so we're going to move to baseball now. I'm going to start with my goddamn Yankees making a trade that I am not really a fan on. They acquired Josh Donaldson. I don't know how to pronounce his name at all. I believe it's Connor Falefa. I don't know his first name. I know it's IKF. That's what majority of people call him. And then some catcher that I'm not even gonna look up because I don't care. They traded away Gary Sanchez and Gio Urshela. Now, my lovely Yankee fan base loves to think that somehow Gio Urshela is the main piece to that trade, which is just asinine. I love Gio. Do not get me wrong. Gio is a good player. But for a second, let's be fucking serious, right? Like, Gary was the main piece of that trade. The Yankees had no clue how to figure out Gary at all. They constantly, when it came playoff times, put him on the bench for a guy who couldn't fucking hit. That also made no fucking sense. So now they trade... Look, okay. Let me start here. Donaldson is an upgrade. Marginal, but an upgrade. Because you are taking two bats out of your lineup. Two good bats. Defensively, it's definitely an upgrade. But offensively, it's a marginal upgrade. And then you're seeing that they aren't looking to make any big moves, or at least that's what's been reported. We're going to get into Freeman signing with the Dodgers and yada yada, but you only have one big free agent to really make a proper upgrade, and that's Correa. But before we get there, Donaldson, the trade's meh, to be completely honest with you. Look, it's not a bad trade, it's not a good trade. It would be a good trade if you said sign Freeman. But you didn't do that. Instead, you signed Rizzo before Freeman even decided. How does that make any sense if you're the New York Yankees? You signed Anthony Rizzo a full 24 hours before Freddie Freeman even made a decision. And yet, Hal and Cashman will probably be like, yeah, we were in on him, and there was reports that he didn't want to come here. Bullshit. You guys had no real interest. Where's Rizzo going? I didn't hear about a market for Rizzo at all. I heard the Cubs were interested. Okay, great. The Cubs are interested in everybody right now. So you were going to sign Rizzo a full day before Freeman signs. At least let Freeman come off the board. At least give me that. You would think that Rizzo's contract would go up because he can use that as like a starting point. Like, what are we doing, guys? What are we... And that's not even getting into the whole New York City vaccine mandate, which I disagree with. I mean, I agree with getting vaxxed, but I disagree with the mandate where, like, Kyrie can't play. Yeah, that's fucking stupid. That doesn't make any sense. He could go to the games, but he can't play. That makes no fucking sense. And Rizzo's not vaccinated. They asked the governor. Currently, baseball falls under it. So how the fuck is he going to play half the games? You signed a guy for all that money, and he's not even going to play. Or we don't know yet. He's not even going to play. What the hell are you doing? What are you doing? Like, what? How does that make any sense? Unless he got vaxxed. I doubt it. But unless he did, what are we doing? How does that make any sense? I don't know. At this point, the Yankees infield and what they're doing make no sense to me. You got, for example, you got the Dodgers going out and getting Freeman. You got all these teams fucking upgrading. And you got the Yankees who just lost in the wild card. Not doing any. They're getting Josh Donaldson. They're running it back, basically, with Josh Donaldson, who's an old fucking man. What? How is that an upgrade? How is that going to take us from the wild card? As Hal said, he believes we're a World Series team. Really? We just lost in the wild card, and all we did was marginally upgrade our offense, which has been the issue for the past, whatever the window's been. What, 6 years, 7 years? They get to the playoffs, and their offense can't do anything. What, are you just waiting for them to all just hit home runs? Shit, with the Dodgers, it's not going to matter. They have they have a good pitching staff. If they get Bauer, they have a great pitching staff. They have an amazing offense, so it doesn't even matter. Nobody is going to be able to score with them. There's only one team that I could see beating them, and that's the Mets, who hopefully can just shut them down. If you just pitch to them well, maybe they can't score as much. But the issue is the Mets don't have the offense, so if the Mets can limit them to, 3 runs, Mets might not have the offense to get those runs. So it's like, what? There's nobody who can compete with the Dodgers, and the Yankees could have been like that. Especially because Freeman left Atlanta. You could have gone out and gotten Freeman and fucking Correa. Don't tell me you don't have the money. You could have gotten both. And you're talking about an insane team. Insane. Instead, you're running it back with Rizzo, bringing Donaldson. Like, what? How are we getting better? We haven't even addressed the bullpen, which is a major issue for any Yankee fan who watched last year. Major problem. And nothing. We haven't done anything for it. We have a starting pitching staff, which is good. I think they overperformed last year. They're good. But, like, what? How is this what we decided to do? Braves go get Olson. Yankees decide to not upgrade at all. In fact, they might wind up, like, downgrading, because if the rumors are true, Voigt's gone. Glaber might be. How is this better? How is this that much better from last year? They have a no-name catcher as of now. They have IKF at short, who's good defensively. He's all right, I guess, at bat. Donaldson, how is this better? No bullpen. I don't know. It's just crazy to me. I think it's crazy because I know Rizzo wanted to be back, and the Yankees were pretty much like, yeah, come back. Come on. Come back. It's just annoying. I do think a lot of Yankee fans are kind of like, oh, fingers crossed, maybe we get Correa still. And I guess you could sit there and say that Correa is still not an opportunity until he signs somewhere, but they're not fucking getting Correa, man. They're a joke. They honestly, at this point, you got people who are justifying, oh, they're spending this amount of money, yada, yada, yada. Look at the Dodgers. Look at the Dodgers. Look at the Mets. Granted, they were just bought out, but it doesn't matter. In fact, that would be even more of a reason to not spend money. Like, what? How are we not doing anything? I don't know. Hopefully next week I can, give you some positive update on them, I guess. But I don't think that's going to happen. All right, well, I'm going to move on from the sports section, and I'm going to hit you with really the only news I got this week. I do have some planned sections, but again, they're hit or miss. So, like, I want to do, like, a dumbass tweet and talk about it, but I can't do that unless I see a good one that I feel is, valuable enough to talk about. So, until then, we're just going to roll with this is really the ending. But I do want to talk about this because this is pretty interesting, and I do think it'll sneak under a lot of people's radar. U.S. Senate approves bill to make daylight savings time permanent, which basically means that currently what we have now would stay permanent instead of, switching the clocks back and yada yada, which, thank God. I know they did this before and there was a big fucking, everybody started bugging out. Thank God. Reversing the time, setting the times back, it's so stupid. It is an outdated idea that needed to be changed so badly. It's not done yet. Biden has to approve it, and it wouldn't take effect until like 2023 because, quote unquote, they need to let the airlines catch up in their technology. I guess. Apparently. I do love the articles that are coming from this, though. The articles are funny. I doubt I'll be able to pull one up, but I did see one that was like, Democrats just approved for you to get less sleep, which is an absolutely insane way of looking at that, considering that you're still getting the same sleep. So I don't fucking know. I guess people don't understand how time works. I don't know. I think that's about it, though. I don't really have any other topic to talk about. Yeah, I think that's it. We covered Olson. That's it. All right, so that's gonna do it this week. Like I said, it's gonna be short. I want it to be short. I don't want it to be too long to where it takes up too much of your time and then you're not interested. Want it to be short, but I also want to add stuff, and there will be added stuff. It's just gonna take a little bit. I know, and I'm gonna say this now because I saw it a little bit when I was looking over the recordings, my tests. The frame rate's down. I'm using a Mac, which is fucking dog shit, but I do know that the frames like this looks really, really rough. So I'm going to figure out a way, maybe, to try to, I don't fucking know, just try to find a way to fix it. I know I could use my phone camera. The only issue with that is that I think it'll look like shit, but we'll see. So if you enjoyed this episode, you know what you should do? Like the video and subscribe. Did a whole thing on Instagram. Got a good amount of views. I'm not going to say because, 4 subs. 4. Hit the red button. It takes 10 fucking seconds. It helps me. It doesn't help you, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to you. It doesn't matter. You just hit the red button. It helps numbers. It makes everybody happy because it doesn't. Maybe it makes you happy because it helps me. If not, that's okay. But it doesn't hurt you and it helps me. So if you don't want to be a dickhead, hit the red button. And then also like the video while you're down there. So you could do it now. I'm giving you time right now. Do it now. Alright, you did it? No, you didn't? Alright, fuck you. Goodbye.